Hi, this is Ron Kubitz with the PHRA here at our 65th annual PHRA conference, and I'm honored to be joined by Lisa Horn. Lisa, nice to see you today.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Lisa is with SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management, and she is in charge of their Workplace Flexibility Initiative, and she also works in partnership with Families and Work Institute. It's a long title, and spit it out there. Can you, for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with you, Lisa, a little bit of a background on what you do for SHRM?
Absolutely. Well, I kind of wear two hats for the organization and for HR professionals. Since joining them in 2004, I have been one of our resident lobbyists working Capitol Hill, representing the profession, basically in terms of all those issues that impact the workforce and the workplace, whether it's the Family and Medical Leave Act, the Fair Labor Standards Act, or healthcare reform. Been, again, the voice of the profession since 2004 on those issues. And then more recently, I've had the pleasure and really the privilege of working on an issue that's near and dear to my heart, this issue of employers adopting workplace flexibility policies to help improve the overall employee health and well-being of their workforce. So get to co-direct that initiative, the When Work Works initiative, with our partners, as you alluded to, the Families at Work Institute.
Okay, that's great. Now, obviously, when you talk about flexibility in the workplace, there's a lot of different paths that you can choose. What are some of the most common paths that you see some employers taking to try to become more flexible for their employees?
We are seeing a lot more employers adopting telecommuting policies, even though I know that some companies have also pulled back in that area, specifically this year, but there is more employer adoption of telecommuting, part-time arrangements, part-year arrangements, job shares, compressed work weeks, flexible scheduling, just giving employees some level of choice on how, when, and where their work gets done is really what workplace flexibility is. And there's lots of different types of flexible work arrangements in that gamut, and it's important for organizations to find what will work best for theirs.
Mm-hmm. Now, you kind of alluded to some of the other companies like Yahoo, for example, that's cut back on some of their policies they had. That brings me to the point of resistance. Obviously, there are some companies that are more flexible than others. Some that adopt easily, some that don't want to adopt. What do you find some of the main resistance points are that maybe companies or leadership usually experience?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge organizations have is this is about change, and it's about change management. It's about doing work differently, and we all know change can be difficult, and this is no difference. It's helping people understand how to work differently, and that you don't necessarily always have to be visible in your organization to bring value. At the end of the day, it's about producing results, and if you can produce results wherever you're at and whenever, should it matter that you're in a physical environment or that it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon versus 3 o'clock in the morning. It's about, again, helping employees navigate all those dual demands of work and life, and it's incumbent upon organizations to overcome those challenges, to adopt those strategies in order to be competitive, in my opinion.
Sure. Now, Lisa just gave an excellent presentation here to the PHRA, and during your presentation, you basically say that flexibility is not a benefit, but a strategy. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, you bet. We really don't want to think of flexibility as a benefit. It really is a business strategy to help businesses be successful, whether that's through supporting your talent management strategy, recruitment and retention efforts, complementing your wellness strategy, helping your employees take time out for the gym by working a flexible schedule, or helping them to eat healthier. Flexibility can complement your business strategy because it is a business strategy.
I think a lot of people, when they think of flexibility, it usually boils down to just hours. So I know myself, working for a construction company, we work long hours. So people were often resistant to that, but as you mentioned, flexibility, we have some wellness programs, we have the gym, we bringing some things to the job site, so it's not always just about hours, is it?
It isn't. We do have some pesky federal statutes that still dictate hours worked for a vast majority of hourly workers, of course, but it really shouldn't be about hours worked. It's about getting and producing results. And if you need to take 35 hours to do that, or if you need to take 45 hours to do that, it shouldn't matter about hours put in or face time.
Now, you talk about the When Work Works initiative that in your presentation. Can you explain a little bit what that is?
Yeah, When Work Works is a joint initiative between SHRM and the Families and Work Institute. It's actually been around since 2005, but just recently became a joint initiative of our two organizations. And I think the easiest way to explain it is it's a grassroots program to bring research, resources, information, and best practices around workplace flexibility to employers at the local and state level. And we do that through a network of community partners. Many SHRM affiliates, whether state councils or chapters, and local chambers of commerce support us in that effort. But the signature element of the initiative is this Sloan Award for Excellence in Workplace Effectiveness and Flexibility, and really is meant to honor and recognize those employers who are best in class with respect to their flex strategies.
Okay, great. Now, speaking of flexibility, just from listening to you talk and talking, it seems like you're on the road quite a bit. You work long hours yourself. What would people be surprised to know that you actually do, or some of your interest when you do get some limited time off?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely a rabid sports fan, and namely football, of course, this time of year. And I spend many of my weekends in the recliner tracking my football pick'em pool, which is very serious, especially because I have family members in it, and I am the only woman who is in it. So I'm very competitive when it comes to my football league.
That's important.
It is.
Fantasy football, pick'em, that's big time thing. So as long as you don't do it during the workplace.
That's right.
Yeah.
Take that for when you're outside of the work site.
As you said during your presentation, the presenteeism, I like that. I wrote that down. That was great. So speaking of football, on November 23rd, there's a big game. The Nebraska Huskers versus Penn State Nittany Lions. Who's going to win that game?
I believe that's played in Happy Valley, which is a very tough environment. The whiteout against Michigan was very impressive this past weekend, but I like that matchup for us, and I'm going to take the Huskers, but it's really a matchup of two very strong college football traditions that's fun to watch no matter who comes out on top, but I'm pretty sure it'll be the Huskers.
Good politically correct answer. Lisa, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Ron. My pleasure.
Thank you.